After careful reflection, I wish to state that come 2027, I will not defend my seat on the current party ticket.
Wenyenchi, how are you doing? I hope you're doing fine. Now, last week, there was a development, matters politics. Murang'a governor, that is Kang'ata, had a press and said that he's ditching UDA for his re-election bid in 2027. What does this do to the current political climate, and how does it affect 2027 polls? I want us to look deep into this and analyze what this might mean, and even look at Ndindi Nyoro, who has sadly left UDA also, and why these moves by now Irungu, Kang'ata and Ndindi Nyoro, how they will shape Mount Kenya politics, and how it will affect the DCP, which is the party for Rigathi Gachagua. And before that, let's hear the news first, as done by NTV.
Now, Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata has severed ties with the United Democratic Alliance, citing the marginalization and targeted persecution of leaders from the Mount Kenya region. Following high-level meetings that failed to resolve deep-seated grievances, Kang'ata declared his stay in the ruling party untenable, signaling a significant political shift in the mountain. NTV's Laban Shaban begins our broadcast tonight.
The political alliance between Murang'a Governor Irungu Kang'ata and the United Democratic Alliance has reached a definitive breaking point.
Able to collect that data for analytics.
Barely hours after welcoming President William Ruto to Njiri High School in Murang'a, the governor retreated to Nairobi to announce a separation.
I have no doubt to say that after careful reflection, I wish to state that come 2027, I will not defend my seat on the current party ticket. I will later, at a certain stage, communicate the platform which I will present myself to the electorate. However, until then, I will remain a disciplined and committed member of UDA party.
This follows a series of unsuccessful attempts to bridge a widening gap. Kang'ata revealed that he had confronted the president with hard truths regarding what he terms as a strategic orchestration by the ruling party to marginalize the people of Mount Kenya, issues he insists have left the region bedeviled.
Of course, I have tried my best to have these issues resolved internally. I have had a candid discussion with His Excellency the President, one-on-one, where we shared these ideas, but we did not reach what we call full convergence.
With convergence proving elusive, the governor is now casting himself as a defender of the region against what he calls a ruthless political witch hunt. While he remains tight-lipped on his specific destination, he says the exodus from the UDA in the mountain has only just begun.
Wamatangi, the governor of Kiambu. Okay, let me not talk about his works. I will not speak about whatever he's doing. But I can tell you, chances are Wamatangi is coming back. Why? Because of what has happened to him here in railways.
He pointed to high-level impeachments of former DP Rigathi Gachagua and former Meru Governor Kawera Mwangaza, alongside the mounting pressure on Kiambu's Kimani Wamatangi as evidence of a presidency rapidly hemorrhaging support in its most critical stronghold.
People have seen politicians being beaten up in my region. I saw the Odaya ACK church attack. I've seen my friend Osotsi. He's my very good friend, Senator Osotsi. He was assaulted in Kisumu. Look at the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Every time he's assaulted, remember in Lemuru, I don't know, in Eastlands, he grows. Every time that happens, he goes. Surely, I can't understand. What kind of a political strategy is that?
According to Kang'ata, he has refused to bow to pressure to join the choir of praise singers or endorse the two-term narrative.
That this is the same party that saw what happened in the year 2022, where political sympathy based on mistreatment by Jubilee Party made us partially win the election. And then we are doing the same tactics. Surely. I can't believe it. You cannot do the same thing twice and expect different results.
By choosing defiance over conformity, the governor says for him, loyalty is earned, not coerced, leaving the UDA to face a gathering storm of its own making. Laban Shaban, NTV.
Now, kama kawaida, we'll have to start with a story. Now, there was a boda guy who refused to join a big circle. Everyone laughed at him. Hii ndio sako iko na pesa, iko na viongozi wakubwa. Utaumia peke yako. But the boda guy said, sako ni poa, lakini hii yao inalipa wenye wako juu, si sisi wa ground. So he waited, watched, saved. Then one day, he started his own small circle with a few trusted riders. At first, ilikuwa ndogo, but slowly, watu wakaanza kuhama. Why? Because they realized, better control your small thing than be controlled in a big thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that boda guy is Mount Kenya's new political thinking. Let's look at Kang'ata's move that everyone misread. When Irungu Kang'ata said he will not run on a UDA ticket in 2027, people rushed to conclusions. Anaenda DCP. But pause kidogo, because that's where many are getting it wrong. The Ndindi Nyoro Kang'ata factor. It is a silent power block. Let's bring in the second name, that is Ndindi Nyoro. These two leaders have done something very interesting over time. Avoided one-term or two-term chants, avoided loud loyalty politics, focused on development, delivery. And because of that, they've built something rare in Kenyan politics, independent political capital. Hawa si wale wa niko na mkubwa, they are more like ground iko na mimi. Now, why is UDA now a risk? Let's be brutally honest. United Democratic Alliance, UDA is no longer the 2027 vehicle. Back then, okay, it is not the 2022 vehicle. Back then in 2022, it was the hustler movement. It had emotional momentum. It had Mount Kenya family. But now, ground imeanza kuchange. Many Mount Kenya leaders are quietly realizing being on a UDA ticket in 2027 is the same as risk of rejection, and politicians often fear rejection more than anything, and because it is the same as losing elections. Now let's look at the silent exodus. What you are seeing is not noise, it's early political migration. By 2027, only a few leaders may remain firmly in UDA in Mount Kenya. The rest will have quietly repositioned. Let's talk about the DCP. The Democratic for Citizens Party associated with Rigathi Gachagua. At first glance, it looks like the natural alternative, but here's the problem. Some people look it as a cash party. There's a growing narrative that DCP favors financial muscle, and the example you get in the example, such as grassroots aspirants builds momentum, then suddenly replaced by a deep-pocketed income. In politics, that sends one message: ticket si yako, ni ya mwenye pesa. Why is this dangerous for Nyoro and Kang'ata? Now think like them. They already have development record, voter goodwill, strong ground networks. Why would they join a system where their ticket is not guaranteed? That would be political suicide. Here's the real strategy. Here's what most people are missing. Nyoro and Kang'ata are not confused. They're buying time and possibly designing their own political vehicle, because that gives them control over nominations, control over structure, control over destiny. They don't need to oppose Gachagua directly. They can work with him politically, but avoid being under him structurally. That's a very sophisticated move. Then there's this Linda Mwananchi connection. Now add another layer. If they eventually align with the Linda Mwananchi movement, they plug into national opposition energy, youthful wave, anti-establishment marathon or narrative, while still maintaining their own party identity. That's a power combo. Let's look at the big picture. Mount Kenya is fragmenting. What we are witnessing is this. Mount Kenya is no longer politically uniform. It now has Ruto-aligned leaders, that is UDA, Gachagua-aligned bloc, DCP, independent technocrats, that is Nyoro and Kang'ata type. And guess what? The fragmentation changes everything for 2027. For voters, this is confusing because in 2022, there was clarity. Now, there are options, but no single direction. And when a voter bloc loses unity, its power reduces. Kang'ata is not leaving UDA to join another party. He is leaving to avoid being controlled. And Nyoro is doing the same thing quietly. Because in 2027, it will not be about who shouts the loudest. It will be about who controls their political vehicle. If you want deep, sharp, no-nonsense political breakdowns like this, subscribe to HiiStory, because here, we don't just follow politics, we decode the moves before they happen. Bye.